Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, network. Welcome to the latest episode of Hiring in HD, the bite-sized content where I get to throw questions and scenarios from the hottest topics of the hiring world at some of the best team leaders and business owners that we've got in the industry today. If you agree or disagree with any of what you hear, please let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed it, give us a like, but most of all, don't be afraid to get involved in the conversations.
So a massive welcome to Lysha Holmes, who's the Managing Director of Qui Recruitment. Lysha, how are you? I
am great. Thank you so much for having me on today, Chris. It's really nice to meet you and a real honour to be invited on your podcast.
No, thank you for giving up the time. We'll jump straight in if that's all right.
Absolutely. Let's go for it.
A question that I really want to ask you then, Lysha, being a rector, does having a social media presence or a personal brand help a recruiter now to get a new role?
The short answer is, if you don't have a personal brand and social media presence, who are you? So I think that times have significantly changed, particularly since the pandemic, where people are sharing, whether it's their vulnerability and their authenticity on a personal level, their mental health, their well-being, whether they've been championing, causes that are close to their heart. We've all become much more sort of CSR, the social responsibility aspect, but also what you've done to champion your customer pool, the clients and the candidates that maybe you've helped through furlough, whatever it might be. So the reality is that anybody, as a rector, obviously the first thing I do when I get referred a candidate is I go and look on their LinkedIn. I do then go and look at them on Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter. And I think that it can be quite limiting if you have not embraced the positive side of having a personal brand, because the reality is that's what your customers will then go and look at. It's the first thing that they'll do. And it's all about understanding who you are as a person, what your values are, what your experience is. So it's your credibility. And you can say all those things and you can understand all that when you meet somebody or when you start engaging with them. But the first thing they'll do is go and look at that brand.
To put you on the spot a little bit, what is the biggest frustration that you have when dealing with recruitment agencies looking to hire?
The biggest frustration is lack of transparency over where they're actually at and what the expectation is. And then the other one is lowballing candidates, managing the process from the start. This is what they're on. This is their expectation. There's an economy of scale. If somebody's billing, X amount and they want the most ridiculous salary, trust me, they won't get through my process. Yeah. So don't then lowball them at the offer stage when we've just gone through 2 or 3 interviews, 3 or 4 interviews, whatever. That's just crazy, because the fact is, as I'm saying this as a rectorec, you're a recruitment company doing this for your clients. It's just be, listen to the consultant, and just be honest and open. That's the biggest thing I would say. That we're dealing with human beings, right? These people change their minds all the time. So just be receptive to our input.
What do you feel is the biggest mistake that recruitment agencies make when hiring?
Making assumptions off somebody's profile. So just because somebody has worked for X company does not mean they are, dog's bollocks. It doesn't at all. I think there's a tendency as well, historically, right across the sector, to try and get people from competitors. Doesn't mean they're any good. Doesn't mean that they're the right culture match. It doesn't mean they've got the right values. So I would say, think about what you say to your clients and act accordingly. Take everybody at face value. Don't make assumptions about people just because they've worked in a certain place. But also on the other side, just because somebody's working in a company you don't respect doesn't mean that they're not any good. That's probably why they're looking to leave. So don't assume.
Next question is around, obviously, rectorecs and the bad reputation that they typically get. Why do they get that, and why is that unfair?
Oh, it's 2 separate questions. Why do rectorecs tend to get a bad reputation? Because they're being judged by people doing the job that we're doing. So, it's very difficult if you were to go out to engineers or to software developers or, supply chain professionals and understand what a recruiter's job is. They might only be able to base that on their own experience. But if you're dealing with a recruiter and a recruitment company, they know what their expectation is of you. And so when they feel that you've not fulfilled that expectation, that's why they tend to get this bad reputation. Now, I'm the biggest champion of recruitment generally. I love the sector. I'm passionate about the industry, and I think we are truly life-changing people. I think we are privileged to do the job that we do. I am not a competitor to other rec-to-recs going, they're rubbish. But when I take feedback, I'm afraid to say they tend to have a very poor expectation of a rec-to-rec. And it comes down to a word that I think I've already used in one of your other answers, communication. The communication is poor, and it's so simple to be a good recruiter, never mind rec-to-rec. Just be honest with your feedback. Give feedback. No feedback is feedback. Even if I've had no feedback, I'll literally go, I'm really sorry I've not heard anything, I'll speak to you tomorrow. That is still news. Takes 2 seconds. The not knowing can often be the biggest problem. You know, nobody has the expectations that you're going to get them the best job in the world. They just want you to treat them with respect and with honesty.
So obviously we know there's a huge war out there for talent and that kind of stuff. What advice would you give to recruitment agencies, therefore, looking to separate themselves and attract better candidates, or put themselves at the front of the queue? Does the old, table tennis tables and beanbags still work? What should companies be doing now?
Somebody that they might be attracted by the beanbags and the pool tables, but I think the war on talent is only just starting. The fact is the economy is bouncing back phenomenally, and I think if we hit all our sort of targets of vaccinations, etc., I think it will be a feast. I genuinely think that, certainly for the next couple of years as a minimum. So I think you need to seriously think about what makes you different. And it's not, there is not going to be one size fits all. For those who are attracting a certain type of generation, then maybe ping pong tables and, going to Ibiza and getting smashed is, although you might not be able to go for a while, might be very attractive. And to other people, I can't think of anything worse. Things change all the time. A couple of years ago, that was definitely, all over LinkedIn, it would be people going out for drinks and it'd be bottles of champagne. And actually over the last 12 months, there's been much more emphasis on things like mental health and well-being, and the fact that, and I'm saying this as a sober person, helping people moderate or actually go on a sobriety journey. Think about the physical side, people doing boot camps 10 years ago, you never would have got that. So think about who's your target hire, who do you want to attract in the war on talent, but actually who are the people that you want to retain? And the people you want to retain are the ones you should be conspiring with. Who do we want to attract? Why do you work here? How can we keep you? So I think it's about understanding what your differentiator is by the people that are in your business that you want to retain, and encouraging them to become part of what that looks like when you're attracting new people. Okay,
Lysha, final question then. Which we ask everyone. You are starting a brand new business venture tomorrow. You can have any business partner you wish, past or present, any walk of life, someone that you're not currently working with. Who would be your dream business partner?
I do remember seeing that question thinking, oh my God, who would it be? Somebody like Mark Zuckerberg or Sheryl Sandberg. I think what they have done in terms of changing the world with Facebook has been phenomenal. Obviously Sheryl Sandberg, fantastic female leader, phenomenal in what she communicates and the way that she transforms communities. But you can't doubt what Mark Zuckerberg has done from a university bedroom, and he's literally changed the way the whole world works. So there's my answer. Can I have both of them? If it's just one, it'll be Mark. But if I could have both, it would be doing something with both of them.
Lysha, thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed it.
It's been absolutely brilliant. I loved it. I love the energy. I love the questions. And I hope that what comes across is my passion and enthusiasm and genuine care for our amazing recruitment industry.
Well, it sure does. I thought the answers were absolutely brilliant. Anyone that's enjoyed this or got any sort of answers for themselves, please let us know in the comments down below. But Lysha, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.